May I bring in Jayanto back into this conversation, and I'll come back to you, Ms. Verma. Jayanto Gokhale, I want to pull you back in. And the question I want to ask you, when it comes down to Mahua Moitra, she said that, okay, I didn't know what the poster was, I didn't know what the film was. This was after she made that statement on our very dais on India Today. The fact is, if she didn't know, Jayanto, what is stopping her from coming out and making a public apology, saying, okay, listen, I didn't know, so I didn't get the context of it. This is what I meant to say. Instead of being a little churlish, what many would suggest, is to unfollow the Twitter handle of the TMC. What is she hoping to achieve with all of this?
Actually, what she said, I mean, on the Mahua Kaali's worship process, now the leadership is talking to her, and we should wait for some time, because on Kamakya Mandir also, it's not in West Bengal, in Assam.
Assam, yes.
What our co-panelist was saying, that in Kamakya also animal sacrifice is still on, in spite of all the United Nations and the environment and all these guidelines. And I visited Mahakal Mandir of Indore. There also, I mean, this sort of sacrifice from the Samsan Ghat, the tantric sect, they come and they give the worship. So it's a theological and the academic debate. Mahua is saying what she is saying, that is not in the context of the political thing. She is ready to give the clarification. But in politics sometimes it is more strategic. If you react, now it's a catch-22 situation for Mahua. It's a political incorrect statement. It's not a academic. In Oxford, there is a research is on tantric sect and the Vaishnav sect. Hinduism is an inclusivist. You can, a lot of fruit sacrifice.
Janta, we don't want to go into that. Yeah,
of the old
that debate
animal
is a
sacrifice.
Yes.
But
that,
now,
right, that debate is a separate debate.
Now it's a politically, now Mamata Banerjee is trying to understand that what is the impact of the BJP's political, because it's a political polarization is coming from the religious polarization. If you can do, it's a Hindu-Muslim.
So it's more a political issue than a religious, theological issue.
It's an advantage BJP.
Right, and it is, I agree.
Polarize the vote bank.
Well, Sanju Verma, for you it seems to have come in as manna from heaven, because you have now a Mahua Moitra where you can completely shift focus, where the attention was on Nupur Sharma. Now you have Mahua Moitra to, target.
Come on, Preeti,
no,
I credit you with far more than that.
To get
okay, I did not interrupt anybody.
Yeah, Mr. Verma, go ahead. Ms. Verma, go ahead.
Yes,
sorry.
Thank you, Preeti. Preeti,
sorry.
You are too sharp to, make that kind of a comment that the BJP was looking at, an opportunity to hit back at detractors of Nupur Sharma. Anybody who knows the BJP, even a wee bit knows that is not how we function. Preeti, I believe that people in public life, we are all prone to being passionate at given points in time and perhaps breaching that line. But I think one thing is very clear, that in public life, as they say, discretion is the better path of valor, and we need to be discreet. I did not want to politicize this, but since the TMC panelists said that the BJP has been made irrelevant and is looking at issues, I would like to tell them, prior to the Tripura civic body polls a couple of months back, where 334 seats were up for grabs, the TMC went about town, Preeti, saying that the BJP will be decimated. And what happened? BJP had a strike rate of 90% plus, winning 329 out of the 334 seats. Your Trinamool Congress won just one seat.
I'll come to you, sir. I'll come to you. Let her finish. Madam, make your point. I'll go across to Mr. Gokhale.
The Trinamool Congress, despite false bravado and bombastic claims in the recently held assembly elections in Goa, your people lost their deposits. You were wiped out. You did not win any substantive seats, and you supported Akhilesh Yadav in Uttar Pradesh. He was also wiped out. So please stop, brandishing about electoral victories in front of the BJP. We rule more than 60% of the country, and I'm very proud to say we do it because we genuinely believe in Sabka Saath, Sabka Vikas, Sabka Vishwas, and Sabka Prayas, which is not just political jugglery for us. Preeti, I will end by saying this.
Sorry, I would like to...
I'm coming to you, sir. I'll come to you. I will give you your time. Let her make her point. I'll come to you.
Preeti, I will just say this. you very rightfully, quoted the Supreme Court judgment, basically Justice Suryakant and Justice Pardiwala, who came down heavily on Nupur Sharma, but without wanting to run foul of what the court said. I will just say that what Justice Suryakant said did not form a part of the written judgment.
But madam, no, let's not get into that. There have been a lot of judgments which have not been written. Let's not get into that. And if the BJP doesn't concur with what the court said, why then remove her from spokesmanship? Why send that letter to all those countries and say we regret what she said? Okay, having said that, madam.
I agree on that.
Okay. Now, madam, you've had your say. You've had your say. Let me bring in Saket, Gokhale into this conversation. Mr. Gokhale, the fact is, at least you would admit that Mahua Moitra has not just put herself, but your party in a very tight spot.
No, not. I mean, here's the thing. As we said, it's in individuals' opinions. We don't go around censuring people and giving them scripts or, ask them to read off a teleprompter. We don't function in that way as a party. The panelists, I have to address the fact about electoral victories. The BJP keeps saying, Sabka Saath, Sabka Vikas, Sabka Prayas. That Sabka Prayas, that Sabka includes ED, CBI and other agencies, income tax and all of those. So let's not talk about who the Sabka is. And the third thing about the Supreme Court order, this I have to address this because I've been hearing this from BJP spokespersons in debates constantly that what the justice is, the bench said in the Supreme Court did not make it to the order. It didn't make it to the order because Nupur Sharma's counsel withdrew the petition. And therefore the order said petition is allowed to be withdrawn. Had they waited for a verdict, the court would have said all those things in its order. The question of whether party being in a tight spot or not being in a tight spot, look, we won with an overwhelming mandate last year. Here the BJP spokespersons talk about Tripura by-polls. This was an election where Prime Minister Modi and Home Minister Shah made it a prestige issue about themselves, and yet the BJP was trounced. Mr. Amit Shah was saying 200 plus they would go. They didn't even get up to triple digits. So the question here is that no, we are not in a corner.
Okay.
As we said, we have comments made by a member of our party. We condemn those comments. They were made in a personal capacity. We are not standing in the way of any legal action that might be taken. That is entirely her responsibility. Going beyond that, but one thing I would like to reiterate is, we are accountable to the people of India. I, as the representative of a party or a public official, am accountable to the people of India. None of us are accountable to the Bharatiya Janata Party.
May I just end on that, sir? That's all the time I have. With the permission of all three panelists, may I please, bow out of this debate. Appreciate all three of you for joining us.